Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while since I've done one. Things have been going on in the background, lots of training and then that kind of stuff, so been busy. But I am back with what I hope is a bit of a banger. The support on the last video like this was massive, so I really appreciate that. And hopefully you enjoy this one. So today's video is, in fact, a review of my Ribble TT bike. I know there's quite a few different iterations that have been out. TT bikes are kind of quite a specific type of bike. I've had my one for just over a year, or coming up to a year maybe. But yeah, just going to do a quick review of it, a little rundown, how I found it, what I've used it for, and yeah, let's get into it. So here it is. This is my Ribble TT bike. I believe this is the 2019 version, so it's an aero frame, and yeah, it's kind of a bit more old school. It's not quite up to the standards of the Ribble Ultra TT that they have these days, but I think it's still a pretty nice bit of kit. So I'm going to do a quick rundown of it, and then I'll run through what I've used it for, how I found it, and kind of bits and pieces to be aware of if you're thinking of buying a TT bike in general, and also specifically one from Ribble, I suppose. So what we'll do, we'll start up the top. So you can see we've got data bars. They're just the straight bars. I haven't got any mantis bars, although I would potentially like to have them on this. I think they would suit my arm shape better. I think they're really comfortable though, really easy to adjust. You just undo a screw underneath, you can slide them up and down. You can see I've got my Garmin mount in the middle there. I can also put my phone in that, nice and easy. Gear changes on the end for the different cogs. And that's the only place you can change the gears, as with most TT bikes, and then brakes on the lower bars. It takes a bit of getting used to, I will say. It's a bit of a weird one. There is a lot going on when you first get onto a TT bike, and the fact that you have to change up here can be quite weird for some people, and it definitely was for me. Yeah, and then braking, obviously, you feel quite sketchy because you're up here with your arms up and you suddenly need to brake. It's definitely a case of finding the right roads for you and the right places to cycle and learn to ride one. Somewhere where you feel comfortable, that you've got a nice straight, less wind, less cars overtaking you in case something did go wrong. Just being sensible, I think, is the key thing there. But yeah, obviously the TT setup is very aero. You get very narrow in that position, and I tell you what it is good for is I've used this on my turbo a lot, and it's brilliant. It's just an absolute workhorse. It's actually one of the main reasons I bought it, because I just wanted a TT bike to set on my turbo and just kind of go to work throughout the winter, and it was perfect for that. You can get in an aero position and just get your body conditioned to that when you're not even running outside. And yeah, really enjoyed that, actually. It was excellent. Next up is the saddle. It's a PM 1.1, just came with it, ISM. Really comfortable. The split nose saddles, it's really good, actually. It's got quite a lot on it. You'd think, because it's more aero focused, less weight focused, you can kind of get away with things like that. But yeah, it really actually is quite comfortable, and you can see kind of you get the pressure relief through the middle, which I love. Going on to the frame. It's full carbon frame, full carbon seat post. The bars are aluminium, but yeah, predominantly carbon bike. It's really good. I think that it looks amazing as well. It's kind of a bit older school, like I said, 2019 Ribble. But it's just, I think it's beautiful. It's such, like, the blacked out look is so sleek and so kind of like undercover stealthy. That's probably the right way to put it. But yeah, then going down, it's brakes are Tektro, which obviously are just cheap rim brakes. Kind of the idea isn't really to be braking too much on these. This is the newer version of this bike. I believe there's a previous version where the brake was indeed mounted underneath here, and all that did was meant that a load of leaves and debris got stuck in it, which I heard was an absolute nightmare. So I was very happy to get one with the brakes mounted at the top. As you can see, the way the frame's designed, there is not a lot of clearance. I think these are 23mm tires. I don't know if you'd get away with 25s. I think they'd rub. This is probably designed really around 23mm tires. If I'm being honest, you might be able to push 25s, but I wouldn't say definitively. But yeah, I mean, again, because it's less about comfort, more about aero. Kind of, this is obviously designed before that revelation of lower rolling resistances from bigger tires and lower pressures and PSIs being run in them. But you know, they're still good. They're Continental 5000. Actually, the back ones are 4000 4000S Mark II, and the front one is a 5000. But they're great tires. You know, you can't really go wrong with Continental. I use them on all of my bikes, and they're excellent. It's Shimano 105 for the derailleur and the crank, and then it's, which, you know, obviously that's great. 105 is excellent. It's kind of that really happy medium of level of quality, but cost of performance, and replacing the bits isn't too expensive. It's quite easy. So it's not too bad. And then it's Mavic Axiom Elite wheels. Obviously it's rim brake. It's got a metal braking surface. I would, if I was going to upgrade something on this, probably would be get some lighter and maybe a bit more deep set wheels, but obviously still with an aluminium braking surface, because with the rim brakes, I do not want a carbon braking surface. As soon as you're in the wet, that is an absolute nightmare. So I wouldn't touch that personally. And I've just got a cheap, you know, Triban blacked out bottle cage on there. But you can see quite how aero everything's designed. That is a really like aerodynamic shape, designed just to cut through the air really nice and easily. And then I've just got 105 pedals in there as well. But yeah, that is the bike overall, and I think it's lovely. It's a beautiful bike. It's really good cost of performance. Like I said, mainly been using my turbo throughout winter, and bought with the aim of doing some other triathlons, some shorter triathlons with less elevation. I'm not going to be using it for my Ironman, because my Ironman has about 2,200 meters of elevation, and I don't feel comfortable being on this bike for that amount of time compared to my Endurance SL. So I'm just going to be sensible and stick with what I know. But yeah, it's a really, really good bike. From a TT point of view, I think it's excellent. You get really aero, really nice and tucked in. Fine-tuning the position is really difficult. I've still not got anywhere near close to nailing it. I think potentially it would be a good idea to go get a bike fit on this, just to get the right saddle height and kind of distance forwards and back, and then also get the handlebars set like your kind of preferences for how you want to rotate your arms, whether you want them out, up, you know, all of these different things. There's a lot of variables on a TT bike where you can close your hips off and then you lose a lot of power. I've tinkered a lot, but obviously it's one thing having it working on a turbo trainer, a completely different thing having it working on the road. So yeah, overall I really like this bike. I think it's really good. And it's excellent for what it's built for, but I would not recommend to anyone thinking about buying one bike to buy a TT bike. It's just absolutely not worth it. They do not, well, this one specifically anyway, I suppose I can't speak for all, but they do not function the same way. It is a very different kind of ride, a lot less control, faster in a straight line, but as soon as you're climbing, turning, it becomes a bit of a behemoth. They're heavy. I think this is close to 10 kilograms really. Might even be slightly more with a bottle on. So it's because obviously the cockpit is very heavy. Everything about it is aero focused rather than weight focused. So you kind of just, as soon as you're going up a hill, you're really, really up against it. But yeah, no, it is a brilliant bike, and I, you know, again, I absolutely love Ribbles, and the Ribble brand. I've got 3 bikes from Ribble now. Review coming soon on the 3rd and final one of them, which, as you might have guessed, is a gravel bike. But yeah, review coming soon on that. Then I will put in the free hub sound just after this. Don't expect anything amazing. It's a very quiet, stealthy free hub. It's a very stealthy bike. So thanks for watching, guys. That was my review of my Ribble TT bike. Like I said just a second ago, next video will probably be my gravel bike. Again, another Ribble, the CGR AL. So that will be out next. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But thank you so much for the support. The Endurance SL video has been doing amazingly. I think it's nearing 400 views. So really happy just to be able to kind of give you guys that transparency with the bikes I have and my honest opinions. I think it's one of those things with Ribble. When I was looking at getting these bikes, you try and look up reviews, there's not many videos. So I thought, well, if now I've got them and I wanted to look at them up, surely other people are thinking the same thing. So happy to keep sharing them, share my opinions. If you've got any questions at all, please reach out, drop it in the comments, hit me up, all good. I will happily answer your questions about them if you're thinking of buying one. And I can give you, from my own personal experience, what I think is right. But other than that, drop a subscription if you enjoy the content, you're looking forward to more. Like on the video, comments, absolutely everything, all good. But I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. Goodbye.